Well, Viz was saying last night, he goes, geez, Carol wouldn't even tell me if I needed to order some T-shirts for these guys to wear today. Now I got to try and find uniforms for enough guys. I got 16 of these, 14 of these. No full set of strips left. Dribs and drabs. You guys can pull one over on me. But whoa, we hit it. Murph, do you have your other warm-up jacket?
Yeah. I'll give you this one when we start playing.
Okay. I love to go.
I had a sweatshirt too. I have, believe me.
You prepared.
Here, this one is really warm.
Put this one on. It's a big one.
It's nice and big.
Oh, how you doing? I'm glad he's here. Hey, Mike, say hi. Wave Dawn, wave Dawn.
Oh, baby, baby.
Did they have other
Come on, embarrass yourself. Segundo, stay on your right side. No one walks out. No side, the blue team. We have the oldest player, so
It's starting!
Hey, you're 4 years late. How are you, sir? TJ, why aren't you dressed? Billy, you're in the TJ.
Yeah, I don't get everybody, but I'm getting... keep rolling back and forth then. Listen then what Coach does.
He's the goalkeeper. Coach, there's McDonald. He was the goalkeeper for Gila, right? That's right. No, that's right. Come on, Curry. Wait, Frank is coming. We can't miss Frank. Go, Grandpa. Frankie McGee. If he comes out, it's going to rain.
Jay, cross your arms.
Frank, Will White. Frank. Help him. Get his hands up. No recap, 45 yards.
We gotta get them one.
We're waiting for Frankie.
Yeah, it has to be in 2 lines. It's much 2 lines.
Long ball. No, that's an easy. When he gets the ball, you can turn off. That's a little bit. No. That's Frankie. That's his son. Coming. Watch out, he's going to bring the train down. Come on, Frankie. That's right. Come on, Frankie. Don't be misled by the color. He used to kick asses so badly, you have no idea. Let's get together a little more compact, guys.
Wait,
No, bigger than me. What, 2 lines? Yes. They all look like one guy. Hey, Jesus. Coach, why don't you let them kneel over there? Kneel in front of us.
Okay, you need 2 lines, guys.
No, let them come on, yeah, go ahead. Aldo.
You can see them a little bit better. You gotta kneel down.
Got bad knees.
I won't be able to get up.
Liz, aren't you getting in there? Get in there.
Chest out, stomach in. Hold on, I need to call my hair. I can only hold my stomach for 3 seconds.
1, 2, 3.
Right.
One of them will come out.
All right, let's go. Okay, let's go. Martin, take care of the team. Come on, guys, let's go. Kaka, are you ready? Take care of the team, the white team.
Okay, guys.
Only 11 plays. Only 11 plays. I hate to bring you back. 11 on this side, 11 on that side.
This thing automatically focuses for you.
This is 25. All the problems. 25. 35 of those. 12. What's going on here? Yo, you got your bench, huh? Yeah, bench, man. That's the first year I ever got bench. You know what? Toma! Hey, what is it? They got 20 guys on blue. Martin, this is the Albanian 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I need one more up, pal. You have 12. Martin. Okay. Juan Carlos, we need another uniform. Grandpa.
I don't want my game last year.
Yes, if you need me. Yes, if you need me. Ah! Jim, go! Go! Outside, Jim. Outside.
Look, Carol is the cameraman.
Go to the clock!
Why? Oh, I couldn't. I just
Come on,
Start. Get back!
Let me know to get show me the yes, no. Aurelio. Look at Tommy! Look at Tommy! Segundo. Right now. Look at Tommy. Hey, Tom! Here you go. Ah, come on. Right there. Pick up, back, call. That's up. Right. Stop. Back it up. Michael's here. Right, you know. Gustav, that's that. If you're ready to play. How are you, sir? You're looking well. Cloudy day, sunlight. Yeah, good choice. Your brother. Gustav. Give us some depth up. Man! Hello, Dele. Good choice, Aldo. Hey, back here. Man, go back to the middle now. Okay. Help him! You always looking at me, man. Stop. Mario. Easy. Okay, call, come back. Bye. Look at this. Your brother. Aldo, go. Hold it. Ui. Oh, yeah! Man in front! Hey, run, quick! I don't know. Hey, pick up! All right, push up! Yeah, come on. Too much speed. Billy, too much speed, guys. Good ball. It's off from here.
Really? Really? What are you doing there?
Gotta get regulated breathing.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, Danny!
Oh, no, fire.
Get your speed, Lado.
Yo, try to kick it in next time, right?
I was trying to...
I don't know. It didn't look like you were trying to kick it.
You're not getting dressed? Huh? You're not getting dressed? You shouldn't make the team? Yeah, well, I'm Candy. What's
You always used to drink Common
Your brother, I'm Oh, yeah. I remember the free kick. I remember in 1978. Huh?
Not, substitution.
Go to the other side, please, Alex.
Go with Burger.
Alex. TJ is there. Will look good in it.
Yeah, Joe. I got impressive.
Time. Hit it, Time, turn! Duncan's here! Duncan's here early! Time, Tom, time! Yeah! Oh! Good run, good run! Up, up! Backwards! Back, midfield! Yes, stop! Go! Yes, Mark, yes! Play to feet, guys, play to feet. Let's go. Hold on. Albo, midfielder. Hold on, John, hold the ball.
What's that, huh? That's fun.
Hey! Settle it. Turn. Get back. Easy, outside. Frank, hang on. Go, look. Yes, down line. One time.
Why?
Push it up. Joey. Outside. Son. Go at him. No. Let's go. Yes, again. Move. Come on. Send it. Jimmy. Yeah. Yo. Go! Hey, go feet!
Come on, guys.
Cut him down. Middle! Pick up, boy. Out of man. Sorry, Mario. Wait. No, let's get down. Bring it back. Somebody's got to calm. Go for it. Get off my phone. Bring it across. Let's go. Pick up, boy. Out of man. Now drop back. Come on! Rather than not up! I got it. He's fine. Come man, come through! Oh, no!
get that on film? There's a lot to spin on.
Key. You have the key? Come on, Martin. First, have you come with me. We gotta get you. What? Come with me. Come with me.
Oh, shit. 24.
Come on, guys.
Some of them are trying to bring it in by one to
There we go.
From that room,
I'm not moving. I got it. Oh, no.
You were on it, Alex. I saw it.
Turn!
Daddy, can you roll that front? No, don't touch it.
Go, Dad! Oh, oh!
No, honey. That's good. You call your mother, honey? Honey? Son? Chili. Oh, right, no. I don't think they ever go. I would have You like to play soccer, huh? How old are you? 5? How old are you? 3 See, there's no way that they could get away from it. Right. And the 2 of you? Okay, you want to see over here. Yeah. 2 seconds.
Turn! Yes, Mario. Finini, Mario. Yes, Mario.
Mario!
You can't forget that white line. That white line. You can't forget that. You want Daniel? We'll go down and go. Can this Christopher play with you when you play with your ball? Christopher.
Turn!
Nice.
Turn! And go at him!
This way.
Easy, David.
This way, honey.
Back, midfield. Mario, back. Look on the back. Nice play. Somebody help him.
Go in the doorway? Yeah, I just have to go on the right. Can you go down the road or no? No? No. He's on the other side of the gym. Okay. On the stairs, we can go up there. Why are you They left. I know, 2.5.
You have 5 minutes, guys.
Shirt say something. I would have been embarrassed about having to sign out yesterday.
Where are you going, Taco? Give me that watch. We don't play this watch. No, it's our Mateus plays the watch. I bet you did.
Oh. I lost it yesterday somewhere on the field. That's okay.
Come back. Don't give it up until the goal. He's out of the play. Good, Debbie! Men on! Ball, Danny. Protection!
Ready? Yes. Good.
Finish off. Come on, Big D. Yes. Use them. Look at your front. Oh, you see. Oh, dummy. Mark!
Turn that off, put 1-1 on. Yeah, 1-1. And turn the glass off. Off all the way. Turn it off. Just no time on it, Billy. Okay? Set it back to 45.
Step up, Willie. Willie, stay outside. Oh, go, Grandpa! Danny, push over! Oh, come on, play on! A midget pushing out a giant.
Up the line. Here we go, here we go. Look, serious.
See that fly?
All
right, pick up.
Take it.
Quickly, watch the run.
Alex,
Sorry, I didn't know your name. I couldn't call. What's your name?
how can they do this? How can they do this? Come on, Joey. Let it go. Quietly. Marcelo, hold it. Marcelo, that's a bad ball. Okay, play with it, please. Taka, leave it in there.
David! Morella, David! Nice, David, nice. Now, support now.
See how well he did it?
Take the big one. Punch it. Over, here it comes.
Well done, guys.
Turn, Dave, turn. Take it inside. Leave the ball here. Let's go. Get in the box,
Well done, Dara. 85 on.
Put your head down and just go.
I was playing better now than I did when I did.
Again! Yes! 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 Tom. Oh no, you're not having better right here. Why don't you go to Daddy? Go around the corner to Oh, good job! Enough of that. Go, Daddy. Dad!
One guy push on him. Settle, Carl, back, Carl. Joke. Oh, big ball! Big change! Yeah, but not bad for a wooden leg. Hey, midfield then. Pick up! Settle, Carl, settle! Time. Ricky, feet! Yes, look! Good, man on your back! Turn it in! Yes, good, Tommy! Square! Yes, push up! Line, look wide! Easy! Come on, free work! Yeah, now back home! You guys back post, Carl! Keep one wide! Rally up! Keep up! Aldo, come to him, Aldo! Yes. Time, nothing, one man coming. Small time. Touch him down, one, come on! Fucking Tommy! Yeah. This way. Guys, let it ride. Get back! Two here, I got two here. Okay, go. Young's got to go to the ball. I got it. Okay, come leave the guy outside. Look around. Come on. Okay. Someone's got to go to him. Behind
Hit it, Will. He was on.
Midfield, can we come back? Carl, inside. Aldo. Good. Go. Let's play in the offside. Billy, there. Behind you. Wide. Touch it, but keep it wide. Go. Call back. Go. Yes, sir. What's right?
Dave, John.
Get on, Alex, go deep. Get out. Man on. Here, quick, push up. Push up. Yes. Put it over. Get it. Push up. Yes. Come here, Phil. Right.
Ron, he got our hand.
Go, Romeo, come in.
Keep it coming. Frankie! What's up?
Don't worry about it. You can make a picture for myself, please.
No.
If Alberto was back there, I would never got it. Right here? Right here? Right outside.
Oh, go with it.
Easy, speed. Back. Up front. Back if you need to. Really, you got behind Come on. Wide. Sorry, Rick.
And I've got the name tag.
Oh, great. You gotta tell me what you...
I got 200.
Man, head up. Have a day.
Oh, really? Oh, having fun? You guys broke it up back out. Oh, I get it now.
Tommy! Tommy, get it to him! Dad! Come, bum. This way. Easy. Hold him, coming, guys. Hold him. Easy. Go at him. One time. Oh, nice leg, Dad. Come I'm pretty independent. She was. I do a lot of things outside. He's gone. I guess you came from around 3.5. Oh, man. Shut the big head. Take him down. Come on, Dave, step forward. Come on, Dave. Ricky. Yeah, I'm the leaper. I told him the story. Yes, I don't play ball. Okay, you were going, you were going to no, but he did the bench most of the game, pushing it forward and kind of playing the whole team. Yes! 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 Here we are! I was going to have a little that almost. How wide is that field? Watch two! Oh! Keep the ball in the defensive, Jordy. Something's up here. We don't want to know about it. Oh! I don't know how
now we got the final.
Come on, let's go!
That was Carry. One shot for your
I know, I told her. It's impossible.
Yes! Turn up. I got ball. Come on.
Easy now, I'm right here. Look at you!
Go, Tom! Howdy, come back!
Out to the right, go to the post, right on the post, right on the post.
Big boy.
The only thing we discovered was
There's some cake for food.
no, the only thing I figured out is
Huh?
Get that sign out there, Coach.
Have a nice evening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Speechless for 2 seconds. I win! I win! Well, I won my bet. She is speechless.
We gotta ask the way we're sitting. We get...
Okay, hang on 1 second. Take that tray, I don't want
We'd like to officially start this commemoration program in honor of Coach Vizari. I'd like to make a blanket apology if George forgot your name as he went through the room. I saw Ron Valley was not at his side. And I'm sure by the end of the evening you'll place all the faces with the correct names. But before we start our meal, I'd like to introduce a very special person who made this night possible, who came to me in early summer and said this was what we should be doing, and agreed 1,000%. Carol Laredo, would you please come up?
First, I'd like to tell you all, it's a pleasure to finally see you. I've been talking to you on the phone, as my husband knows, because he is not answering the phone at my house anymore. Boy, strange men keep calling 10 and 10:30 at night. I wish that we could all just raise your glass. I would like to congratulate George Vizari on his 25th year of coaching at Ulster County Community College. For without George, he has no idea of how many lives he has touched, how many friendships he has made, how many memories he has given. To George, we all thank you and salute you.
Yes, George. Thank you, Carol, and please let's enjoy our dinner. There'll be speakers after we finish our meal. Thank you very much for joining us.
This is it. This is the big moment. Tommy, you're on, Rick, penalty! We cannot score. Harder! Where's the paintbrush? You have nobody. You know where it is. That's the paintbrush shot. You know how to do this or not?
I think this is a floral.
Make the diagonal good. To the lifting cage. You want to have some place here. Hey, come on, bro. That's right. I just wanted to get one
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Don Cott. I work at the community college, and I came to Ulster County Community College the same year George started to coach soccer. In 1968, both of us weighed less than 200 pounds. We have enjoyed many fine years together. It's indeed a privilege to MC tonight's event. We do have some guest speakers, and we'll get to them shortly. I would like to take this opportunity to read some letters that we've received to George's benefit this evening. Dear Coach Visveri, congratulations on the occasion of your 25th anniversary as soccer coach at Ulster County Community College. Barbara and I are most happy for you, although I still can't forgive you for letting that 5'3" Tony Graham out-jump you to head the only goal in the game between the A-licensed coaching candidates of 1974 and the U.S. National Youth Team. 1974, George. I know that the many friends who are with you today all have fond memories of the good times in and around the game of soccer that you have shared with them. George, you're among the best. Continued fond wishes, Dr. Joseph Matsnek, President of No. 1 Goalkeepers and Strikers Camp. Dear George, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your 25th year as Ulster soccer coach. You've taken our teams places that only a great coach can go. You not only have demonstrated your effectiveness as a teacher of soccer, but more importantly, a teacher in our engineering technologies curriculum. You have instilled in your players and students a commitment to excellence, whether they be on the playing field or in the classroom. Sincerely, James Quirk, Dean for Student Development. Coach is married to a wonderful man who not only helped me, but many other young men. Congratulations on your successful career as coach at Ulster County Community College, and many more to come. I'm sorry I cannot be with you on this special occasion, but my thoughts are with you. Tommy Hine. After regrets, this letter goes on to say, George served as a vital part of the Eastern New York Youth Soccer Association Olympic Development Program for many years. I would like to take this opportunity to honor George Visveri for his distinguished history of developing youth soccer players. Thank you, George. Peter Masato, President of the Eastern New York Youth Soccer Association. Coach Visveri, congratulations on your 25th anniversary. It is really extraordinary, the record you have compiled since you've been there. 2 national championships, and I don't know how many regional, 15 tournaments. But I do, however, know that you've touched my life and so many others in the world of soccer. There is just some kind of magic that you possess that is indescribable. I was about 10 years old when I first watched my first Ulster soccer game. It was from that time that I dreamed of being an Ulster soccer player. And from there on, and my love for the game grew. Well, now at the age of 31, I look back at what an influence you've been in my soccer career. I am privileged to be able to say that I am an Ulster County Community College soccer alumnus. Tommy Byer. And finally, on behalf of the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, it is a pleasure to congratulate you on your 25th anniversary as coach of the Senators soccer team. I played soccer myself when I was growing up in Europe and credit my success in life to the benefits of exercise and being fit and the many rewards associated with a healthy lifestyle. You have obviously become a legend at Ulster County Community College. In your 25 years of coaching, you have positively influenced the lives of countless students, teaching them the importance of teamwork and sportsmanship. You are to be commended for your guidance, patience, and love of youth sports, and I hope your coaching career continues to bring great success and personal rewards. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chairman of the President's Council. I understand we missed the presidential debate this evening. It was 2-1, George, and when you get home you'll find out who actually won. Now I know George will have an opportunity this evening to share some comments over the 309 career victories of his career, and because he will be doing that, we want to move right ahead with the program. We are going to ask George to please try to keep his remarks to under an hour and a half. For those of you who might happen to have babysitters at home, now would be a good time to call and see if she or he can stay. I do remember in 1968, George started coaching soccer, and the soccer field at that time, for those of you who are former players, was on the other side of the tennis courts. I remember whenever anyone kicked the ball off to the left side of the field, it would go over the stone wall into Paul Sturgis's fields, and we usually would stop the clock. It would take about a minute and a half to retrieve the ball. That was before ball boys, but the soccer field was later built later on, and as we expanded to college. But from those very, very beginnings, George certainly has built the dynasty here in Ulster County, and we are delighted to take this evening to congratulate him for an outstanding job. Our first guest speaker, my privilege to introduce to you New York Senator Charles Cook. Charlie.
you, George. I have here a proclamation, and a proclamation, as you know, is a piece of paper with a few words on it. But I'd like to say that it is symbolic and a token of the esteem of the entire Senate of the state of New York, and it's given to you in recognition for what you have accomplished, and also in recognition of this fine institution, which is a part of the University of the state of New York, of which we're all very proud. I'm not going to read it word for word, but it says that George has been a soccer coach at Ulster County Community College for the past 25 years, and in that time he's won more than 300 games at UCCC, including 2 National Junior College Athletic National Championships. He's coached 37 National Junior College Athletic Association All-Americans. Many of his players have gone on to play NCAA Division I soccer. Several have also played professionally. As a staff coach for the United States Soccer Federation, George is considered to be among the elite when it comes to coaching soccer in this country. It's all dressed up in some nice, pretty words, George, and you can read them at your leisure. But I don't know you very well, as you know, and I'm not going to pretend that we're old friends, but I will tell you this. With all this, what impresses me most is that the people who do know you have told me that you are just a very special human being, that you have touched people's lives in ways that are very warm, very personal, and very meaningful to them. And I think that that's the thing that, in the last analysis, really measures the quality of a man. And I admire you for that more than anything else. Congratulations.
Charlie had many other places he could have been this evening, and I'm really pleased for Ulster County Community College and for Coach Visveri that he chose to spend the evening here in Kingston with us. Eileen Satayo is our next guest speaker, a member of the Ulster County Legislature and also a candidate for the New York Assembly. Eileen?
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight and to offer this proclamation on behalf of the Ulster County Legislature to a very fine coach. Coaches are good friends, they're good educators, and they're great role models. And obviously there's a lot of love and support in this room, and that's great to see. That's very positive. I will read this to you because it's very impressive. On behalf of the Ulster County Legislature, Proclamation and Legislative Chamber, whereas since 1968, Ulster County Community College's soccer team has built a reputation of being a perennial powerhouse that year in and year out contends for regional and national championships. And whereas during this time, the team has won 2 national championships, 15 Region 15 championships, has earned 11 trips to the national tournament, and has had 19 straight seasons of having at least 10 victories. Now, this award was supposed to be awarded actually to George last year. Unfortunately, he was ill. So I'm here tonight to deliver this award to George. And whereas, more important, one man who has been responsible for this amazing reward and consistency and excellence has been the coach, George Visveri. Whereas, more important than all the victories and championships that Coach Visveri's teams have produced over the years has been the positive educational impact that Coach Visveri has imparted on the hundreds of young men who have had the honor of playing and learning under his tutelage. Now therefore I, on behalf of Richard Matthews, Chairman of the Ulster County Legislature, do hereby proclaim this day, October 10th, 1991, George Visveri Day. In recognition most noteworthy accomplishment of earning his 300th victory as coach of the Ulster soccer team. This 10th day of October 1991, on behalf of the Ulster County Legislature, I congratulate George Fisbury and wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Now that George knows that October 10th, 1991 was George's very day, we put on 10 more minutes to his response. While George is receiving gifts, if you'd like to call your babysitters, please feel free to do that. And now I'd like to move on with the program, however. T.J. Durella, survived soccer, graduated 83.
Can you see me okay, Aldo? I'm sorry for that. Oh, I'm sorry. You want a stool? Most of us could say a lot of things about Coach. We all have about a million stories we want to tell. What I did was I sat down and I wanted to write down some facts about Coach and just think about all the accomplishments he's done, all the words that come to my mind every time I think about Coach. So what I did was I put a few facts down. As most of you know, he's a USSF staff licensed coach. He's the head of the engineering department at Ulster, courses that most of us couldn't take. He's had over 600 players play for him. He's had over 300 wins. Really amazing accomplishments. But the words that really remind me of Coach most are competitor. I think that's very important. Motivator. For those of you who played on the same side of the field as him, comedian. All game long. Sex therapist. Surrogate father. I can say that for my family, being that I'm the third of 4 Durellas to go to Ulster. Priest. Disciplinarian. I was in the locker room the other day, and I know this is true. Surgeon. Players, you know what he'd like to do to them. Masseuse. Trainer. He's always right. Ego. And a big word for him. And God. I mean. I'll never forget the first day I walked in and met him, and I just looked at him and I said, you know, 2'7". Nice to meet you, Coach. I mean, he's just an awesome presence to you when you're coming in as a freshman. What I also did was I wrote down some favorite visitor sayings. I have a top 10. I'd like to qualify this by saying I did sanitize most of them as best I could. Not all perfect, Coach, but I did as best as I can. The number 10 on the list is, if my grandmother could grow a beard, she could have been my grandfather. Number 9 on the list, anyone can pee on the floor. I want players who can pee on the ceiling. I don't know what that means today, but I know this is one of Tommy's personal favorites. You're like the fly crap on last year's calendar. Another pearl of wisdom. This is one my brother told me, and I really didn't know it because I don't wear one, but do you get better reception with your earrings in or out? This is kind of an inside one for the players, and not everybody's going to get this one, but let's just put it this way. Try and hit the dollar bill on the ceiling. And number 5 on the list, watching you play is like peeing in a wetsuit. You get a warm feeling all around you, but no one sees it. Please tell me you'll talk to me after I get done. Number 4 on the list, you're like the big fart without the smell. The next one I witnessed personally, it was after we had won the region, and he said it to the opposing team's coach. I'll send you a postcard from the Nationals. Occasionally he would be a little upset if you weren't tough enough, and he would use this one, number 3. You're like the pussycat without the cat. And number 1, actually, I believe. Did I skip one? I'm not on the last one, I believe, because I'm not going to tell anyone if you want to talk to me. The top one on my list, and most of us know it when we're on the side of the field, is when he screams all the way across the field, "Do it now!" What I also did was my brothers and I and some friends of mine sat down and we tried to write a poem. We're not exactly poet laureates, but we put some thoughts together. It kind of just describes some of the things Coach has done for us. Preseason was tough, all 3 times a day. We were the fittest team. It was the only way. You ran us forever and trained us so hard. You got us our scholarships and forgave our red cards. You disciplined us severely and dictated our lives. A rather ironic twist for a cat with 9 lives. Hair by Adidas with 3 stripes across. Hair clubs for men couldn't stop your hair loss. National champions in 77 and 78, a feat to this day you've yet to recreate. On a serious note, our teacher, our mentor, our father, our friend, you'll always be coaching till you win the Nationals again. Coach, I'd just like to say from all my teammates and my family, it's been a great experience playing for you. You taught me a lot about how to grow up, and you're a great man.
I'm sure if Dave was here, he would recount each one of those episodes. We'll probably just take a little break before he does that, and he'll be in the bar later this evening going down each one of those. So if you'd like to join him, that's up to you. I just had a wonderful evening talking with Tom Mulroy, who I remember when George had him join the team back in the early 70s. I told George when we first started at Ulster in 68, go down to Rockland County, my hometown, and recruit soccer players there because it's really outstanding. And Tom, I remember coming from Clarkstown that year, I said, finally, George, listen to me. Today, he doesn't have that opportunity not to listen. We talk about engineering a lot, and he's much more attentive than he used to be back in 68. But the advice I gave him then, I'm glad he took, because Tom just told me there's a different part of soccer, and all of you know Tom much better than I do, I'm sure, but he now is very much involved with soccer, promoting the sport in the Northern Hemisphere. And we're delighted that Tom could be with us from Florida this evening. Tom?
First of all, the Dorella brothers are always a tough act to follow. From the four of them that went through this. At first, when I was asked to speak here, I thought, well, they're probably asking me to speak because I was the first professional player. Later, I come here and I find out I'm the first player that spoke English as a first language. And if I spoke English as a first language, how did I wind up at Ulster? Well, as Dean said, I started out in Ulster as a freshman like everybody else. The first time I met George, I was with the youth national team. He came, and I'm going to share this with you because I don't think my story is any different than any of the players that have gone through George. And on the serious side of what he does, and a newspaper called me a couple of weeks ago and was asking all these questions about George and the soccer end of it, and how our team always wins and why he's so successful. And I kept steering him off and not trying to answer his soccer questions because I think there's two parts to the guy. Okay, and really I didn't realize the second part of George until after, well after, I was out and away from the school. And I also didn't realize that second part of George Visveri really until I had finished playing professional soccer. And I did that for a large number of years, and then all of a sudden I was out in the real world, about 5 years ago actually, and I had to take some of the things that I did every day on my life on the field and take them off the field and bring them into reality. And that was the first time, really about 5 years ago, that the other part of George Visveri became evident to me. Things like, when I look back and he first came, he picked me up, and there was another player that I was recruiting from my high school, Hervé Gilliard, and I remember he came, he picked us up in his little Volkswagen Common Gear, I think it was, Volkswagen, yeah. If you know George real well, you know he never buys a car he can fit in. So here I am. Me, a teammate, we just got done with training, and now we have a 2-hour ride up to Ulster in the back of the Common Gear. So we come up, he shows us around the apple orchard, and we were impressed, and the soccer field, and he told us what a good team he had. And really the only thought in my mind, he said we have a good education here, I'm in the engineering department. I was like, you're right, I'm in engineering. And he went through all the basic same stuff that all of the other coaches that were recruiting us at that time went through. At that point, the only side of George that I wanted to know about was the soccer part. And that part was so much at a different level than any of the coaches. And at that time, coming out of high school, there were some coaches inquiring, but he had the right soccer answers. And to me, that was all that was important. I came to Ulster Community College because I wanted to play soccer. I thought that I could get to the pros in 2 years instead of 4 years, which is a terrible mentality for a young person to have. That's the mentality I had. That's the mentality a lot of kids. What I do for a living now is I deal with kids. I see about 100,000 kids a year, all soccer related, many of them in single drug programs, many of them in high-level soccer programs. Every year we deal with about 20 kids in our area where I live, in the disaster zone in Miami, where the hurricane is. Where we live, we deal with about 20 players, trying to put them, place them in colleges around the country. And one of the key things that I look back on when I went to school and in my selection process, obviously we tell the kids to go into their guidance counselors. Every high school has a guidance counselor for a kid. They figure out where they need to go academically. And then all the kids want to go to the big name school. And that's important, from a soccer standpoint. It's real important. But to me, more important than that, and their parents realize it, the kids don't really realize it, is that when you go away from home and you're going to be living at a school, your coach is not just your coach. Your high school coach is on the field with you for 3 hours a day. He was responsible for you during your training sessions. But when we got up here, okay? The man found us apartments. He basically made sure we had everything we needed. We didn't have a ride, he had to come pick us up. 10 guys in the common gear. It's a full-time job. It was a full-time job, and he actually, and I tell this to the parents all the time now, I personally came from a broken home. I know many of the players that have passed through the gates came from neighborhoods that weren't so good. Their home life wasn't that great. Many of them there were. But the reality was you were away from that home life. And this guy took us in like our father, tried to make the team very much like a family. And we're not talking about 10 white middle-class kids that all grew up in the same environment, okay? We're talking about kids from Brooklyn that this is an alternative to a gang, okay? We're talking about kids from Virginia, white middle-class kids coming up here finding out that he's the only kid that speaks English as a first language, okay? And he's with these other cultures, okay? The rule is no speaking Spanish in the locker room or on the field, because George also wants to teach those kids how to speak properly. Because what he's trying to do is build young men, build characters, and I think probably the most important thing that I found playing professional soccer for so long, and probably the biggest fault in my teammates, was after we were done playing, how many of us could take goal setting, take the dedication, the commitment, all of the work habits from off the field, and put them into life. Because that's all that counts is life. Nothing else counts. Your family, your friends, we had all those things from one man. Today in the shower, players were going, yeah, I went to a 4-year school, yeah, big program. After you're done with biz, you're bored. After you go from here and you go somewhere else, it's just not, you just don't feel the same. Who went to a school and played after this and felt that way? Put your hand up. Okay? I mean, I know that happened. Put it down, because I went to the pros. Okay? And I played professionally under guys with even worse accents than George. Okay? And it was the same thing. When you left here, okay, he looked after you. When you were sick, he looked after you. And I think that, you know, after all the jokes and the personality he leaves with you, and I'll tell you what, I'm in the soccer industry every day of my life right now. I deal with the Federation, the World Cup Committee, all the people. And all you have to do is mention George Visberry's name at a bar after a game or in a locker room with some coaches, and anybody that has ever had contact with the man, a smile comes from ear to ear. Oh, George, what a character. The story starts. Now you're sitting down, another round of beers. Yeah, Visberry story. And I think part of the reason that many of those 600 kids that went through here, yeah, he turns out 37 All-Americans. He turned out probably as many professional players that left here. But you know what? I think he turned out a lot of great people. And I'm really happy for it, and I think everybody in the room is. And on a serious note, I do want to thank him. In many ways, he served as a role model, big-time role model for me growing up. And you think you get here, the guys in the back that are here, they think they're grown up, okay? And you may have run more than we did today, okay? But you're not more grown up, and when you look back, believe me, you're going to be so happy you went here. Thank you very much, everyone.
Those of you who are in the back of the room did not see the cutting of the cake and what happened when we asked George to do that. It's the first time in my adult life that I've seen somebody cutting the cake in all the horizontal and diagonal pieces, and he was certain that he would get a piece for each one of you. He would still be cutting the cake if we did not let the hotel take over. But we're going to have a presentation of gifts at this point. I'm just a little afraid you're probably the kind of guy who wants to keep the wrapping paper for Christmas. So this may take a little bit of time, but with Carol Laurito's help, that's next on the agenda, and would like to have George open his gifts at this time.
You can never make it. No paper in the men's room.
The best coach in Long Valley.
The best coach in the world. It may not be mine.
Might not.
But I could act as an imposter. It will be too long to read. All your signatures. The names of those who attended this event. And some of those who couldn't. With a note, forget me not. I will not. To remember all of you. Thank you. This one of those.
There's a story behind it. He wanted to use a baseball, but they were out of baseball, so he had some on the lot to see they were trying to create. When everybody has to please sign it, and then it's going to be taken.
That's it.
The ball would be up here, we'll have a pen, and we'd ask each of you to sign the ball before you leave this evening.
This is the soccer ball that I endorsed to promote throughout the United States, and to my greatest dismay, I arrived to Rockland County, and my name was magic markered out. This is how much they hate me.
Carol, maybe we should pass it around as we finish the program. That way, for those of you who do have a schedule.
This could come only through Tom Mulroy, or maybe Tony Martelli. This material is not available in United States yet for this Adidas tracksuit. The only person that I saw wearing it was King of Norway. I hope it will be as befitting as, well, thank you very much. Adidas has always been my favorite outfit, and even as you have depicted, the haircut appears to be at times so fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you.
How's this thing work?
Medicine kit. It's probably the next 10 years supply for Thank you. My favorite American-made, Sonny. Thank you. I will take lessons from Carol. She is the official picture taker for the team. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. What?
I'll see you after this, don't worry.
I know, but it's a safety pin. Yeah, round one. Ironically, what happened, the reporter from the Poughkeepsie Journal was sitting in my office and just talked about the game and life around college. And one of my students walked in, happened to be a female, and wanted to have a safety pin because the button fell off. I was the only salvation. I don't have safety pins per se in my office, you know. But I gave her a soccer button which was, very apropos for the occasion, and she wore so nicely and wore it well. Among the buttons. Excuse me.
You have all these pictures that I'm not allowed to have. I now have a picture that I approve of you hanging up.
She lives in an identity crisis. She thinks this is part of my office. There's no question about it, it's my favorite. Absolute truth. This is Tommy Mulroy. Advertising.
that perhaps this is meaningful to those who ever wanted to achieve such kick. And a player on our team this year scored an astonishing goal against Union College in such fashion, but of course he didn't wear a purple dress. Indeed, it is my favorite. I had many sons. He happens to be one of them. Thank you.
Ulster County Community College was founded in 1961 by a referendum of the Ulster County voters. We opened our doors in 1963, moved to the Stone Ridge campus in 1967. We're about to celebrate our 30th year providing higher educational services to the residents of Ulster County. And over those 30 years, there are very few, if any, who could surpass what George has brought to Ulster County Community College in his role as soccer coach. I've been in audiences where George has talked about his belief in this country. And in fact, I think at one time you said you would sit in for Ross Perot tonight at the presidential debate. He has though, presented, and we shared an evening once with about 12 faculty members in Albany where he recounted, and I'm sure many of you have heard this story, his escape from Hungary back in the 1950s from communism. And when I hear George talk about that, it's a very special person who's experienced that, who's brought that experience to this country, who's brought that experience to his life as a college professor and his life as a coach. We are very, very proud. Words do not measure the feeling of pride that I have to share a podium with George Wiersbe. It is now time for him to make some closing comments. He's already made a few, opening his gifts, so I'm sure he will be brief, although how can you with such a stellar record as coach of the Ulster Community College soccer team. George Wiersbe, my pleasure.
It will not be difficult to say thank you to all of you, because it looks like that I have grown up with you. Although so many of you in this audience is like a book, sometimes for 2 years, but often for a lifetime. It's good to be among friends. It's great to share life with you and help you along or assist you along, because I have never been a person who allowed myself to do living alone. I always wanted you to give me that 50%. That way we can work together. Yes, I pride myself in the fact that I have dedicated my life to create better lifestyle and a better generation, because I want to surround myself with good people. I have left a great job with IBM many years ago, exactly 25 years ago. And the reason why I have done that is to teach the young men of this country to appreciate the country,
to give back what they receive, a great lifestyle, wealth, quality, understanding, freedom. At the time when I left IBM, all this was a big question mark. I wanted to be among you, to become part of you, as a foreigner, and teach you all the things that I have learned in the short time that I was a naturalized citizen. It appears now that somehow it worked. The lifestyle, the goodness, the good human being attitude transpired not only among my family, but also among my large family. My only tool was the game that I love, the game that is a teacher, the game that is life itself, and it's soccer. The forum that I have had to pontificate from were soccer fields, ballrooms, where I gave clinics, little rooms among friends, young and old. We started to pull the same cart toward educating our youngsters for a better generation, educating them to respect each other, to love each other, to respect the country, respect fellow citizens, family, friends. I must say that it worked, because among you I see some real nice people, very successful people. I see those who worked hard and earned a place in life. Among you are lawyers, doctors, educators, salesmen, actors, record producers. All of those that we could become, and you became. It is not accidental. It is designed this way. Your education and yourself, the love of your family, understanding of your loved ones, have made you to become very comfortable, respected, good human being. As I would never say this to those who are freshmen and playing for me now, I would never tell them how proud I am of them as to who they are, what they do, and have strength and determination to put up with this soccer junkie, the person who continually yells at them, screams at them, calls them names, and they are still there. I have met it to my madness. It could be a pastor, it could be a loving father, it could be a politician,
most of it, I'm an incredible psychologist. I played with your brain. And I will play with your brain as long as I can. Because this is a way to do it, the best way that I can, to give you confidence to live, pride to live, love to live. Not anyhow, but the right way. Remember what TJ said, and I don't know whether you caught it or not. TJ said that I have a saying that it is easy to pee on the floor, but it's very difficult to pee on the ceiling. See, anyone can live somehow. They will breathe, regardless of the amount of rain. But it is very difficult to live the right way. Very difficult to put things together so it turns out okay. I just don't want to have it okay. I want to have it the best possible way. I wanted to create leaders. I have them among you. I wanted to create professionals. I have them among you. I wanted to create all Americans, those who love the country. I have them among you. I don't know where the next stop is. Well, certainly I'm not ready to stop. I have many good years of cutting you into million pieces. As I used to say, Nasan, you are lower than whale shit. But when I put you together, you will be taller than you have ever been. I certainly thank all of you to become part of this maddening process. The parents who trusted me, the friends who supported me, those who come along into many days, many weeks, many months of travel to spread this goodwill through soccer education, whether it was in Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Connecticut, Colorado, Texas, Upper New York State, Michigan, Ohio. I could go on and on and on of this incredible life that a soccer coach lives. I want to thank all of you for allowing me to be part of your lives. We really became good friends. You are not my players. You're my family members. This friendship is forever. Some of you are beginning to comprehend it. Somehow it sits in that